Welcome, everybody. I'm so happy you could be here. I am Julie Grape, District Governor of Rotary District 5950, best district in the world. And this is our very first of our Staying Engaged series. So it is so wonderful to have all of you here. We decided this year we're going to try to do some deep dives on Monday evenings, the first Monday of the month, and you do need to register for each one separately. So obviously this will be the year of service discussion. Next month is polio. October, we're talking about the Rotary, learning more about the Rotary Foundation and grants. In November, we'll be talking about the Preschool for Success program. And in December, we'll learn more about Interact and Rotaract. So please go to the Rotary5950.org website. Feel free to register for any of the upcoming sessions that you'd be interested in. Also, Alexa has graciously agreed to do some club runner training over lunch, and those are once a month, and those will also be found on the District 5950 website. She'll be doing wonderful things like how do you use Club Runner to work for to sign up to register for events? How do you use to send emails to your group? How do you manage your own member profile is the first one. So yay, Alexa, thank you for doing that. Before I introduce Melanie, I just wanted to make two announcements, and that is to remind you all that the district conference will be Saturday, October 14th at the Minnesota Landscape Arboretum. So for those of you who are used to going to district conference, they're generally in the spring, but we're switching it up and having them in the fall this year. So October 14th, put it on your calendar. We'd love to see you there. And then late breaking news, Tuesday, October 24th is World Polio Day. And we at the district have been talking about doing something to recognize that day, to celebrate the progress made so far on polio. And so we were fortunate enough to work with Surly Brewing. So we're going to have some sort of district polio happy hour event at Surly. Surly has something called Nonprofit Tuesdays, where, and Polio Day just happens to be on a Tuesday, where they will let us use their room for free. So thank you to Alexa for arranging that. So keep Tuesday, October 24th on your calendar. We'll get more details. So now, without further ado, I would like to introduce Melanie DeLuca. Melanie is past president of a community-based Rotary Club, but current president-elect of the E-Club of Global Travelers. Melanie is passionate about all things service-related and about youth exchange. Melanie is one of those wonderful Rotarians who you can absolutely count on to do whatever they say they're going to do. And I really appreciate your time tonight, Melanie, because Melanie's just a tiny bit busy. She has got a third grandbaby on the way, and her son is getting married in a few weeks. So Melanie, thanks for breaking away from all of the family stuff and talking to us tonight about the year of service.
It's my pleasure, Julie, and it's wonderful to see so many friends from our district here tonight. And we're going to have a fast-paced discussion and share a lot of information. We've got 30 minutes together, and we're going to make sure that we make the most of it. So when Julie and I first started discussing this initiative, we got just really excited about the possibilities of pulling together our Rotary clubs to really make a bigger statement about all the great work that clubs are doing. I think we're the best kept secret in town, that Rotary clubs get involved with so many things, both in our district and of course on the international level. And yet we sometimes don't make the news. You know, we're not, one club is doing this and one club is doing that, and we can't always get kind of the notice that I think Rotary deserves in order for more people to know about the good work we do and maybe want to be a Rotarian or join with us and join forces to do great work in our communities. So that's where this initiative kind of started, that we would have a year of not only focusing on some specific service, but in highlighting all of the service that we're doing. And so I'm going to go through a few slides, and then hopefully we have some time to have questions and hear about some things you're excited to talk about at the end as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and give me a second there. Okay. So in talking about the Year of Service initiative, I'm just going to give a few slides to start with, and then we do have some folks on this call, particularly for our first kind of initiative on the environment. Steve is here from the Eco Club, and he is off on an adventure tomorrow, but is graciously joining us and will give a few updates about our first projects that are coming up, since those are our eco projects. So the vision for this was really to bring us together, to have greater impact, and also to track and be able to publicize the impact that we're making. And so that's really what our Year of Service is all about. And how are we going to accomplish this? Well, first, we want to highlight the great existing club projects in our district that are going on. So we want to know about them, and we want to be able to highlight. So for example, if we're focusing on talking about the environment for this first quarter, we want to highlight great work that's going on for environmental related projects in our clubs. That doesn't mean they all happen at the same time of year. Some of you do a great environmental project in the fall, someone else is in the spring, something else is in the winter, but we really want to do this publicity and divide up some of the activities of Rotary so that we're not trying to talk about all things and all topics at the same time. And so for the first quarter, for fall, we're going to be talking about environmental projects, and we want to hear about the great work that's going on. We want to know what your club is excited to share. So as we get to the end, we want to be able to capture some of those things. Then we want to publicize opportunities where you can join in a project, or you can contribute to a project that's being led by some of our clubs that have graciously stepped up to kind of be sponsor clubs for some of our themes for the year. And then together we want to share ideas for learning speakers for our clubs, making sure that we learn about these great areas of service and can serve together. So that's how we want to accomplish our Year of Service. A little bit about what those areas are. Again, Rotary does so many things, but our goal was to pick kind of 4 broad topics that we felt that there are a lot of things going on under these areas. And again, that we could highlight and publicize the work that our clubs are doing, one each quarter. So again, our thought is not that you all do projects at the same time, but that we at least can do our publicity about these projects. So in the fall, our first will be talking about the environment. And so we have several projects to choose from, and we'll hear from Steve in a moment that the Eco Club will be just kind of taking the lead and spearheading, and then we can all, as other club members, join in, and we can track the work that your club might be doing individually under that topic of the environment. The second area of focus, which is kind of our winter focus, will be on literacy and education. So I want to thank City of Lakes for stepping forward. In fact, I think Lynn Otis is on this call as well, and Lynn is helping to take the lead on sponsoring a fun way that we can all get involved in a literacy project and have a contest to see how many books we can collect and donate to wonderful organizations all around our district. Our spring, late winter area of focus is going to be on food insecurity. And we want to thank Brooklyn Park Rotary. They're going to take the lead on this one. So we have an event coming up that I'll talk about. And then a March food collection contest as well that clubs can engage in. And then our last of the year will be on the topic of homelessness and mental health. Mental health is a particular passion for our RI president. And so we want to look at what are areas that we're doing that make a difference there. And we're still looking for our lead sponsor for our spring project. So that might be your club. So again, to talk a little more specifically about what this could mean, I want to invite Steve to unmute and to tell us about several projects that the Eco Club is organizing that they'll be inviting any of us to participate in, and they're coming up soon. And then as Steve talks about that, I'm also going to unshare this presentation and click into his resource list. So Steve, do you want to share a little bit about the opportunities that your club is working on?
Thank you, Melanie. Yes, I'm Steve Solbrack, currently co-president of the Twin Cities Rotary Eco Club. And then I am also the District Environment Action Team Chair. And just wanted to share just a few of the events and opportunities taking place here the next 3 months. And so following in the order that Melanie has there, we've got an event sponsored by the Rotary Eco Club, September 5th through the 9th. It's called the MoMA Hope 2023 Monarch Butterfly North America Friendship Tour. And MoMA stands for Mother Mariposa, which is butterfly in Spanish. And Chris Stein is leading the effort. Chris is a member of the Eco Club. He's a park ranger with the National Park Service. And the week will start off the evening of September 5th, that Tuesday evening, at the Westwood Hills Nature Center. And it'll be a multi-club meeting hosted by the Eco Club. And the primary focus of the evening will be around pollinators and the monarch butterfly tour. And we'll have the MoMA Hope statue there. And that statue is traveling from Alberta, Calgary, Alberta, through the Twin Cities, all the way down through Kansas and Texas, and down to central Mexico, the region, mountainous regions where the butterflies, the monarchs overwinter. And then during the week, Chris will be giving presentations to a few other country clubs. He'll be out at the Minnesota Landscape Arboretum with a booth. And then it will end with a booth at the Minneapolis Monarch Festival on Saturday, September 9th. And I'll put the link in the chat for that Monarch Festival for those of you that might be interested. And then the Twin Cities Rotary Eco Club is also doing a district grant project. And we're working on a collaboration with Twin Cities Habitat for Humanity to put solar panels on 2 new Habitat homes in North Minneapolis. And related to that project, on one of those homes, we'll be doing a Habitat home build. And so there'll be a volunteer opportunity. And that will be Thursday and Friday, October 12th and 13th, the 2 days just prior to the district conference. And we'll have teams of 15 on each of those days. And we've got about 6 or 7 clubs that are participating and funding, and they will get the first chance at those volunteer opportunities. And if there are openings left, we'll open that up to the rest of the district. And then at the Minnesota Landscape Arboretum at the district conference on that Saturday, October 14th, where Julie and I are working with their volunteer coordinator for a volunteer service project that morning. And probably around 10 or 10:30. And she's given us a few ideas. She's having some conversations internally, and we'll have more details later. We don't have the exact details of the project, but there will be an opportunity there to get out on the Minnesota landscape grounds and get your hands dirty, and we'll do something that will be a benefit to them, some work that they really need done at that time of year. And then I also wanted to make you aware that about 2 years ago, I created a Speakers Bureau of Environmental Topics. It gets updated every year. So this was just updated in the last 2 months. And I will share the link in the chat. And so there's Speakers Bureau of 22 environmental presentations, and they're from Rotarians and non-Rotarians. And they've all agreed, they've all been contacted, agreed to be part of the Speakers Bureau. And I'd encourage you to scroll through it. I'll say, I get the link, you can download it. And the first 2 pages gives you a very brief title and who's giving the presentation. And just a wide variety of topics on water, prairie restoration, pollinators, several on renewable energy, solar energy, and other renewable energy. And if you scroll up a little bit, Melanie, just scroll up a little bit. We actually have, I know the number 8 there, down to number 8. And Angelina Mirago was just crowned Miss Minnesota just 3 or 4 weeks ago, and she's really an advocate for reducing plastics in the environment. And the plant-rich diet program there, number 7, is also one that I just found very interesting, both for environmental benefits, but also for human health, individual personal health. And then if you could scroll down to page 3, Melanie. And so if you see anything as you scroll through the first 2 pages that you think might be interesting, then you can scroll down to page 3 and beyond, and you get the number and the title, a little bit more detail about the presentation. If you want to know more about that organization, there are some links to the organizations, and then the contact info. You can contact them directly. So really encourage you to take a look at it. Maybe think about doing 1 presentation a quarter for the next 3 or 4 quarters out of this list of topics for your club. And just be a great opportunity. And it just, again, there's such a variety there. I think there just has to be somebody, presentation for every Rotary club. And with that, Melanie, unless you had something else for me, I will go ahead and close out with that. So thank you.
No, thank you, Steve. Really appreciate your leadership and your contributions. And I'm hoping this gives people the key of how we can work together to make all of our jobs as leading Rotary clubs and members of Rotary clubs easier, because we get ideas from each other, we share resources, and we have this kind of collective energy. You know, sometimes clubs, especially I think after the pandemic, it was hard to restart, and it was hard to restart maybe all of your physical service projects, and you might have lost members or people may have switched roles. And I think we're all trying to kind of get our feet back under our clubs and have them be as vibrant and engaged as we hope they can be. And so I hope this joint energy of coming together can make a difference in that respect. So I just appreciate Steve sharing a little bit more about just other examples. When we say the environment, your club may already be doing a lot of things. They might be doing tree planting. I know several clubs do like eco expos. I heard on the news about a club doing concerts and reusing all of the cups and making sure that those were not going to landfills. You might do highway cleanups or other kinds of recycling. Under the literacy and education, there are book donations, mentoring programs like Strive, scholarships, preschool projects. So many exciting things you might be doing that might be part of literacy and education. So again, when we talk about gathering information about the work your club is doing, think broadly, think all of the things that you might be doing under those areas. Same way with food insecurity. Your club may support your local food shelf. You might be doing student backpack programs for food, or a community garden, or volunteering for Meals on Wheels. In terms of our homelessness and mental health topic, you might be supporting a local shelter, doing a habitat build project, sponsoring Shelter Box, doing a yard cleanup for someone that's disabled so they can stay in their home, collecting hats and mittens, or mental health awareness events. Lots and lots of things that a club might be doing could fit under our different categories and give us some collective impact to talk about. Because when we say that Rotary is making a difference on the environment, think about the rich content we can have if we talk about some of these really engaging projects that clubs might be doing. It gives people that are not Rotarians the ideas of what kind of impact our clubs can have, which is so important. A little bit about how we want your clubs engaged. You might be leading a project, just as Steve was mentioning with the Eco Club. They're leading several environmental projects and they're inviting others to join in. And so you might have a project already planned that you think, oh, we could have more people help. We would love to open that to district Rotarians. And so we want to hear about that. you can promote these service opportunities that others are leading. So when we share more about our upcoming projects, make sure if you're a club president, a service chair, just a member of a club, that you're bringing back that information and talking about it at your club meetings so people get excited. Schedule a speaker. Steve just gave you the most amazing list for the environment. It would be wonderful if we can compile even a fraction of that kind of list for our other topics. So I'm hoping that if you have great speakers for these various areas, that you will share with us so that we can make sure that other clubs know about great speakers that you may have had at your club. And then we want you to take photos and report on the great work that you did. So as you're doing your projects, we want to make sure that you're tracking that so that we can get excited and do great publicity. So some of the projects you heard about, so what's already being planned. So you heard about the pollinator, the habitat project, and then the project at the district conference on October 14th at the Arboretum. In November, City of Lakes is planning a book donation project and a contest to see how many books clubs can collect, and they could be new or used, and you can choose the organization that you would like the books to go to. So whether it's a local nursing home or a school or a clinic or any setting where you believe there is a need for books, we'll be able to count and track how many books our district can put into the hands of worthy organizations. And we just appreciate Lynn and City of Lakes taking the lead to make this a fun, friendly competition where we all can do great service in our community. And then in February, on February 24th, mark your calendar now, we're going to have an event at Second Harvest Heartland, which is one of the major distributors of food to many of your local food shelves. And it's in Brooklyn Park. And so we'll have an event where we can come together and work at Second Harvest. And then we'll also in March have a food drive contest so that in your local community that you can collect food and it can go to your local food shelf, but we'll collectively count the amount of food that Rotary is able to gather and put into our food distribution network. I think that will be very exciting. So again, those are projects already planned, and we've got others in discussion, and we'd love to hear things that you have planned so that your projects might get added to this list, which I think could be very exciting. So a little bit about next steps. First, if you have a project idea or a planned project that you want to invite other Rotarians to join in on, I'd love for you to contact me. My email's very easy, rotarymelanie@gmail.com, and I'd love to be able to chat with you and get more details on what you're working on. Alexa is going to be, she always is our amazing communicator for the district. And so we'll be asking Alexa to periodically send out requests to hear about what you're doing. So we're kind of working on what form that will be, but we're going to keep it simple and easy to do, and maybe quarterly ask you about the projects you've been doing and the work that you're doing. So we really ask that you respond when you get those messages, because it makes a huge difference for us to talk collectively about the work of Rotary if we know what you're all doing, and then we're not missing out on the great work that your club does. So watch for those opportunities to report on the work that your club is doing. If your club, and we mentioned those 4 areas, has a stellar project already in the works on one of those areas, I would love to hear about it, because we're going to be writing articles not only for our internal communication, like our district newsletter, but to submit to newspapers and to communication outside of Rotary so that we can get the great word of Rotary out in the world. So if your club is doing something exciting in these areas, please contact me so that we can include you in maybe one of the clubs that's going to get a featured interview, or we collect some more information from you for writing these articles. And then for the district newsletters, we're going to have a corner about the year of service and highlight these great opportunities. So you can be watching and seeing what's coming up and promoting these at your club meetings. So that is our, and I've got 3 minutes left. I can't believe, Julie, we're making it under the wire. But that's our overview of the year of service. It's a chance for us to connect our clubs and I think have a lot of fun. And I think that's Rotary. We all join Rotary because we want to make a difference in the world and we want to meet people and have that relationship building. And I think this focus on the year of service can do just that. So with that, I'll stop my sharing, and I would love if you have any specific things that you want me to contact you or ideas that you have, even put those in the chat. Since we're recording those, we'll also keep a copy of the chat so I can get back to you. Or again, love to have you send me an email. And if you'd love to help kind of with the overall planning, there are several people on our year of service committee, but we welcome more. And maybe you want to help be creative about getting the word out about all this district level work. So that too, please let me know. So questions or something that somebody would like to add about a project you're already excited to share?
Yes, if I may, one quick comment is a really wonderful idea what you have presented because communication with the outside the Rotary is very important. And I think those of us who see the Rotary Journal who comes in, you will see there are interesting stories of small but mighty clubs who have accomplished that. So I commend you for that. My suggestions are, one is please send the slides of this because it's a new initiative. I've been here for a long time, but district governors, this is the kind of current topics which you are doing. So please send the slides to the presidents of the clubs in the district. Especially in my club, I'm a Minneapolis University Rotary Club, and we are in transition. Just new president just took over last month, and they are planning on it. And I think it'll be a good idea to have that input on that. And lastly, I hope that in future, there will be also something of the international aspect of the district's activity. I have served on various committees for a long, long time, and we have some very, very important topics. Many of these kind, but they have international contact. So that may be another thing is, but it is very good suggestion that you are asking us who are participating, but when you send to the slides to the president, please mention it in a short note that share your projects with us too. Thank you.
Thank you. And I agree, there is so much possibilities. And I would be remiss to say that the international work is near and dear to my heart, since I'm now in Global Travelers and we're an international club. And I'm already thinking about how we can do work such as collect books or donate food, but it may be all over and not just in our district, but in the districts where our Rotarians live. So they're a member of our district through Rotary, but they may live in another place and they too can participate in service. So we're going to get really creative, but I appreciate your comments. Julie, are there some things, and then I can stay on in case there are questions, but I want to respect your half-hour time limit. Are there some remarks you'd like to say as our fearless leader and district governor about this?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much. Like I put in the chat, Melanie took this from a high-level conversation that she and I were having and really figured out how to make it work. So Melanie, thank you. I'm really excited about this. Again, this is the first time we're doing it, so I'm hoping if it goes well, it'll only get bigger and better. And we need to do a better job at telling our story. We do so much good in the world. I think we can do a better job at getting it out to the public. And maybe people might not be interested in joining Rotary right away, but maybe they'll be intrigued and want to come and help us with some of our service projects. And that would be fantastic too. But most of all, I think it's a great way for us to reconnect. As I've been going around and starting to visit clubs this year, I've heard quite a few comments from people that says, we're just starting to ease back into things after the pandemic. So let us help you out. Let us gather people together and have a good time, do good and have fun at the same time. But I think it's fantastic. And Melanie, there is one comment, one kind of question/comment from Benita. And she says something about, sometimes food shelves don't want food. They can go further with a cash donation.
Yeah,
And,
fantastic idea. And for sure, we need to offer that as well, because they can take cash and actually make it into more food than if we went out and bought the food. So yes, fantastic idea. And we're still doing all of the detailed planning for the other projects. So I'll make sure that I work with the Brooklyn Park Club to include that option. It's great.
Excellent. Well, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for all of you for your time. Any questions or comments for Melanie?
And maybe I'll just stay on for a couple of minutes because, again, we've got a huge group and some people, I want to respect everyone's time. But if you have a specific question or, again, please contact me, rotarymelanie@gmail.com. If you have a particular project you'd like to invite others to, and we want to get as much of this great kind of cross-pollination as we can between our clubs and make sure that we all have an awesome year of service. So I just want to thank all of you. And this turnout is fantastic. Let's have just as many come back for the next times. A half hour, we can learn a lot, we can connect, and we can be on to the rest of our evening. And so I appreciate all of you taking that time from your busy schedules to kind of learn more and invest more in your Rotary Club. So my appreciation. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, everyone. And